Mobile phones. Let's talk about them for a second. Taking a quick gander over my YouTube analytics page shows that a whopping 30% of you guys watch my videos on a mobile device. Sheesh. Hope you guys didn't sit through the entire candlelight wedding video on an iPod. So this makes up a significant portion of traffic that comes to this channel, and by extension, means there are a lot of people who, albeit are more tricky to cater to, are just as important to me in terms of providing the best experience that I can. Which leads us to Blip. Blip is a fantastic platform because it was designed from the ground up to cater to content creators intent on making long-running video series, as opposed to something like YouTube, which is more of a catch-all site and was initially good for little more than uploading videos of your cat. However, it seems that Blip still doesn't play well with mobile devices. Despite my many successful trials using Blip on a multitude of devices, at the end of the day I have gotten many complaints that neither the embedded player on my WordPress page, nor the native player on Blip itself, are working for some people's devices. And of course, this is on top of people that generally just don't want to be on Blip in the first place. These are issues that are important to me because I want my content to be as accessible and as viewable as possible without making it difficult for you guys. After all, none of you have any obligation to be here. You watch my stuff because you want to. I'd be nowhere without your continued support, so giving back 110% is my top priority. Blip was a hindrance to the ease of access, but I did so because I was trying to achieve through it a more long-term goal: financial subsistence, or at least assistance, allowing for less time at a legitimate job to in turn create more content, essentially allowing a win-win for everyone. However, exponentially more intrusive ads, poor compatibility with mobile devices, and just general fragmentation of content location made it a weak solution to a rather simple problem. And so, with that in mind, it's time to try something new. Tomorrow I'll be uploading a video on Princess Luna. It will be uploaded first, and only, on YouTube. It will not contain any ads. It'll be the easy, simple, clean YouTube experience that we all know and appreciate. This will continue for the rest of my videos for the foreseeable future, essentially bringing my content back home to YouTube exclusively. I'm sure any dissenters that are left after my 500 subscriber exodus 2 weeks ago when I first announced the move to Blip will be pleased at hearing this news. So this pretty much fixes the ease of access and mobile viewing problem. However, it doesn't really address the long-term goal that motivated the move to Blip in the first place. So what's the deal with that? Enter Patreon. Patreon is a website some of you awesome people recommended to me in the comments. When I checked it out, I was intrigued by the concept enough to give it a shot, since if I can make it work, it's a far more ideal solution than doing the Blip staggered release model. So, what is Patreon? Patreon is essentially a long-term variant of Kickstarter. Like Kickstarter, it's a crowdfunding platform, allowing individuals able and willing to financially back a certain project that they find interesting. Unlike Kickstarter, though, there isn't a single large campaign that takes place over 30 or so days. Patreon is designed to fund ongoing projects and the continued works of individuals, as opposed to large one-shot productions. Instead of pledging a single fixed amount, Patreon encourages microtransactions on a per-content basis. So instead of paying one massive sum during the initial campaign, a user, or patron, pledges a much smaller amount that will be awarded whenever the content creator releases something new. In the case of me, it would be whenever I release a new commentary video, such as an episode of Impressions, a character deconstruction video like the Why I Love Trixie video, or something like that. This would not include simple videos like vlogs, these stupid karaoke videos I've been doing for the last few days, or announcements like this video itself. Now, the most obvious question that comes to mind with this model, as it was the first question I thought of, was, what happens if someone releases like 50 videos in a day? Will I go bankrupt? Luckily, Patreon allows you to set a monthly limit to your account. So, for example, let's say that you decide to donate $2 a video, and then set your monthly limit at $4. If for some reason I release 20 videos in a month, after the second one, Patreon would stop pulling funds from your account, your monthly cap already reached, the remaining releases that month having no effect on your finances. This can also essentially make Patreon a monthly subscription instead of per video by setting your per video donation and monthly limit at the exact same thing. The best similarity to Kickstarter, though, are the awards, essentially Patreon's version of perks. Given a certain amount, you get stuff, and who doesn't like stuff? I've designated a few perks on my page already, ranging from artwork requests to being able to decide the topics of future videos, and I'm open to suggestion on what other awards you'd like to see. I like this model in general because it only requires participation from those who want to participate. If you hated the idea of Blip and just want to watch me talk about horses and that's it, you can totally do that with this model, no problem. There aren't even any ads to sit through on YouTube itself. Conversely, this allows people who do want to participate a much more dynamic way to do so, as not only can you get stuff from becoming a patron, but there's a section on Patreon where content creators can provide links and items that will only appear to your patrons, allowing for extra spur-of-the-moment perks that will only be available to people willing to help you out. So that's the new idea. Will it work? I'm not sure. All I know is that this makes me feel a bit less guilty about making people's experiences with my content more difficult than it should be, while being able to give back and support the people willing to help me out even more effectively. If you're interested in becoming a patron, the link to my Patreon profile is in the description. If you have any questions about Patreon itself, please leave me a message in the comments.